Namaste. Hello. Today it is my honor to introduce to our Lokvani audience two very special individuals, Sanjay Gokhale and Mukta Munjal, who are part of the core founding team of the organization Federation of Indian Americans, or FIA. Sanjay Gokhale is the vice president of FIA. He has a background in finance and 3 decades of experience in investment banking, venture capital, corporate development, and entrepreneurship. He is from Mumbai, but currently he lives in Rhode Island. We also have with us Mukta Munjal, who is an IT professional who lives in Massachusetts. She is, of course, professionally part of an IT company, but her passion is for women's empowerment and community service. She's been actively involved, just like Sanjay Gokhale ji, in several community organizations and is really passionate about women's empowerment and thus runs talk shows, serves as a talk host for a very wonderful program called I Am Possible, which is really empowering women. Sanjay ji has had several years of experience with many of the community organizations, Indian American organizations, and building on their experiences, they are now expanding their work under the FIA umbrella to do many, many things. Most importantly, showcase the Indian American community as to what it is into the mainstream world and establish good ties between the communities. So welcome to Lokvani and thank you both for giving your time today. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Ranjani ji, for having us.
Sanjay ji, you have been active in the community for such a long time. And now you are actually using all your experiences, both in the space of community service and the experience that you have had as a political observer to really give all your new initiatives under this FIA umbrella. So could you tell me a little bit about what motivated you to start FIA and what FIA is all about?
Thank you, Ranjani ji. So FIA, as you know, there are many Indian American organizations in the US. And FIA is an umbrella organization. That is probably the best way to describe it. It basically is founded to coordinate the, in an informal way, coordinate activities and initiatives of different Indian organizations. There are 2 themes. One is, as you know, Indian Americans, we have different backgrounds. We come from different states, speak different languages, belong to different religions. So FIA brings the message of unity in diversity, which is what the concept of India is. And the second theme we have is to build stronger relations between our Janma Bhumi and our Karma Bhumi. So in that regard, I would put all the various activities of FIA in 4 different categories. First, how we can serve people of Indian origin who are now living in US. Second, whenever there is a need, a time of need for people or regions, different natural disasters strike in India. So how we can coordinate aid. Third thing is, although US is such a wealthy country, there are a lot of people in US who suffer. They are suffering. So how we can contribute those people. We didn't come here just to make money. We also want to give back to our Karma Bhumi. And finally, last but not the least, we want to be the ambassadors of India, informal ambassadors, to be an extension of the Indian government's arm, not authorized, but still to convey whenever there is any kind of a misunderstanding, to convey the message to the lawmakers and others to basically present India's side.
That's really beautiful. And I think, that is the one thing that I think India and America share a lot. We both are melting pots. I think that's why it becomes very easy for Indians to become part of the American milieu, because just like America is a very diverse country, India is also a very diverse country. And I know you grew up in Mumbai. I did too. Our next door neighbor might be Muslim. The neighbor other side would be from a completely different community, whatever it is, it's completely different from us. And that's why we grew up speaking so many languages. And that's India, right? Like, that's the beauty of India, that unity. I remember at high school, we talked about unity and diversity. And I think all of our events always showcase that unity. And that's something that is really beautiful. And that makes us really this country a very good karma bhumi for those of us coming from the Janma Bhumi or motherland of India. So Muktaji, I have attended many of your events, and they are really, I know that you keep this unity and diversity theme in mind always, of course, and I think many organizations do. But what I do like about your events particularly is that you make sure that you invite the senators and the Congress people, so that they can come and understand. And I think that builds to what Sanjay ji was saying, that is communicate with the local government as well. And I really appreciate that a lot. So Muktaji, maybe I'll turn it over to you to describe some of the events that you have put together, which have been really beautiful. So could you share a few highlights of what you have done?
Sure, definitely. And I would share the same sentiment, right? That we are the extension of an Indian arm, like not, we are showing what we stand for, and it is our duty and our responsibility to show where we come from. Yeah. So like you, we all have come from different parts of India. I've come from northern part, I'm from Panipat, then grew to Delhi, and then came here. So I've carried myself with me a lot of heritage of India. So it is my duty to show it what we stand for. And same thing with FIA. If I go into the details of what we have done in the past year or so, not just the FIA, but as an Indian American community, we have done the visa camps for the people who are in America, who need help going back to India with their visas, or there is an emergency. So we have provided that platform. So we have done those visa camps where thousands of people have brought in their applications. We have cut down the steps that it takes time to get those visas done, but we got all those verifications done here. So that has been a great help to our Indian community living here. We've also done and celebrated our 75th Indian Independence Day in a much wider scale that we have not seen before. We did the Indian tricolor hosting in State House of Rhode Island, where Governor of Rhode Island was here. So that showed us and the community at a bigger level what we stand for. We bring the social and cultural heritage. We honored the community leaders from various organizations, whether it's VHPA or Team 8 or HSS, anywhere, ACL, you've been our support throughout. So we take those opportunities during these times to show, the diversity these organizations bring. Then we have also done, a Boston Marathon. So if I go into another category of how we have supported the community here, which is our Karam Bhumi, right? We come and we support our Janam Bhumi, which is India, but we come here, we have Boston Marathon support that we did. It was a 125th year of Boston Marathon. We supported with the TCS team, and team was there 5 a.m. till 5 p.m. On the ground, serving all the Boston Marathon runners, right? So we were at the hydration center. So it is not just the Indian events that we are interested in. We want to serve what this community brings to us as well.
So it sounds like you supported, not only the Indian, providing services to Indian Americans through the visa camps, but also to support the marathon runners, for example, in the American context. And I think, but what I remember is the beautiful Diwali celebrations that you had done. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
So Diwali was a very big event. So Diwali is all about prosperity and abundance, right? So this one we wanted to give back, not just at a smaller level, but at a bigger level. So we had about 5,000 tons of food that was given to the Crossroads homeless shelter in Rhode Island. which was a very big deal. We had trucks of food we wanted to give away, and there was no space, but we just wanted to give. And I think the whole FIA team and the Indian American team came together to give that to the American community here. So that was beautiful. And the colors that we saw, it was at a much wider scale that we have not seen before. And it leaves a bigger impact, right? So people know what these colors mean. What are we doing? You know, when we dress up as in our Indianness, they know what we stand for. So those events, and events like Vigil for the Afghan soldiers, that was something you go back and say that we stand with you, right? In this, whether we are in India or in America, we are with you because you have helped us, we are helping you. So it's bridging that gap between the two countries. That is the aim of the FIA team as well. And that's how our events have been. So the last event, I would say the 26th January, the Republic Day event that we had, that totally extended the university and diversity concept. We had person from every community, every religion standing there, holding the flag, and it was a very proud moment for all of us. So events like this that shows that we are not just, Indians residing in some place, but we are here to showcase what we stand for.
Surely. Like you said, the colors is not just on the body. I know the dresses are so beautifully colorful, but our inside is colorful. The country is colorful. The diversity is really the color that we are showcasing, and I appreciate what FIA is doing in that regard. And again, I think that was the other point which you said, which is every festival, Indian festival, in addition to, of course, celebrating, we always give back. I mean, feeding the poor, feeding especially is very, very special to us. And I'm so glad you brought that out to those that are in need, So, and speaking of hard times, I know, Sanjay ji, COVID was a particularly harsh time, both for India and America. So I know that FIA was very actively involved in supporting both communities at that time. Would you like to highlight some of the events that you did to support people during that difficult time?
Sure. So, even before we brought FIA to New England, as Mukta ji mentioned, there are other organizations like Seva International, like HSS or VHPA. So one of the first things we did was deliver food, lunches or dinners to the first responders in various hospitals. Basically, they were really, overworked, right, at that time. So just anything we could do to boost the morale.
Sure.
The second thing is, I know that FIA, as well as some of the member organizations, whether it is VHPA or Seva International, etc., supplied, all kinds of humanitarian aid to India, whether they were personal protective equipments or respirators, oxygen concentrators, etc. So that's the second thing. Third thing I would say is we reached out to lawmakers. We want to thank, Senator Ed Markey from Massachusetts and Senator Jean Shaheen from New Hampshire in particular. So, they basically heard us, which is very important, and then, argued the case with the administration to provide aid not only to India, but also our, friendly neighbor, the country of Nepal. So we were able to reach out and do some advocacy work there. So these are the various.
Fantastic. I know that it was actually, I know Seva, your member organization, Seva International, both for US and India, both VHP, all of them did so much work and very highly recognized and very hardworking volunteer base that really did a great difference during that time. I do know that. Very quickly, I wanted to ask you that you did mention, Sanjay ji particularly, that one of the goals that you had at FIA was to establish, this kind of bring forth the right information so that the two countries can work together in a beautiful way. In this age of social media, sometimes misinformation about the Indian constitution or other things spread quite a bit. And I think it's a good goal on the part of every citizen, every Indian American, to really try and squash that, not just for the benefit of India, but for the benefit of America, because I think a strong Indian American relationship is in the benefit of the US. And so as American citizens, I think it's important that we do that. And so tell me a little bit about what you have been working on in that realm to establish stronger grassroots contacts. I know it's not at an official level, but I think this is what actually makes the ties on. So I'd love to hear from you, Sanjay ji.
So yes, so this actually, this started when Article 370 was abrogated, and also when CAA was passed in Congress, not in Congress, but in the Indian Parliament. So at that time, I think there was a very good communication and understanding between the executive branches of the two countries. But some articles started coming out in Washington Post and New York Times, and people who realized they could not do much at the federal level, they started reaching out to some town halls, city councils. And if you remember at that time, whether it was the city of Seattle or even Cambridge in Massachusetts, they started condemning India based on misinformation. Actually, it is none of their business. Right. International relations has always been part of the federal government. But what happens is, even at that level, when things like that happen, right, it is important that we explain to everybody what is the purpose and basically dispel them. So we actually sent emails to some of the lawmakers. I know in Rhode Island we had meetings with Representative David Cicilline, and Senator Jack Reed. We also communicated with, as I mentioned earlier, Senator Jean Shaheen from New Hampshire, and we explained India's position and the history and everything like that. So it has been ongoing since that time. And one of the noteworthy things I would say is, as you know, recently we had a pre-release screening of the movie Kashmir Files. And the governor of Massachusetts, the governor of Rhode Island, as well as the House of Representatives of Rhode Island, they were the first in the country to issue a citation to the filmmaker. And in that citation, it was not just a plain vanilla citation, but they recognized that an ethnic cleansing or some kind of a genocide had taken place in Kashmir. So, that is something that happened. We did not ask for that language, but it happened because we have been talking to them or sending them emails, writing letters to them over the last 2-3 years. So one thing I would ask people or viewers who are listening, that, whether you join FIA or not, write to your senators and congressmen, send emails to them, make phone calls, whether you're welcome to join FIA and we would love to have you, but if not, even on your own as a, citizen, it will be very helpful. Right?
I think that's very good. Go ahead, Mukta.
Now, I was just saying, I would also just add to that, it is the groundwork that has happened, not just in last 1 year. Like we said, over the years, the letters and the communication that has happened to all the senators, that has helped us to bring such big events like impact programs like the Kashmir Files, right? We were able to bring those people together. Even I, being from India, I was not aware of those programs, right? And that genocide. But I think the wider awareness of this throughout these years has helped us. And I think a lot more people are, want to join, want to know about it, and they are getting impacted. So it tells us it is serving the purpose, we are on probably the right path.
Sure. Now, I completely agree. I think it's very, very critical that you're saying that all of us to make use of our citizen rights and really contact our representative and convey the message of, to really oppose the misinformation. I think that's the opposing side always does that. And I think Kashmir Files did a great job to bring out the reality of what was happening in Kashmir to people. And so thank you for doing that. We truly appreciate it. I attended it and I was very, very impressed. And you know that once the lawmakers here understand it, they are obviously going to see the truth, and they're wonderful. It's a great country to be part of. So so I know now, Mukta, I just want to end by asking your personal goals and FIA goals as well. I know that you're a sportswoman, a national level badminton player, discus thrower, who really wants to make a difference for India. So what is your personal vision for the future, and what would you like FIA to do for the future?
Thank you for asking this, Ranjani. I am very passionate about women empowerment and education because personally, I come from Panipat. There was a small city. So the only reason I could come out of it was through education. And when I made my way through Panipat to Delhi and to US, I knew the only thing that was helping me was education. And I wish, and I want to open libraries in India. And when I came here, I said, wow, there are so many libraries. I never had access to those many. Maybe big cities had it, but smaller cities didn't. So I think that's my goal and my probably motto, that I'm able to educate people, inspire people through these platforms. And FIA provides you a very big platform where I can come and say, this is what I stand for. I also am a state director of the beauty pageant, Mrs. Bharat as well. So I want to combine the beauty with purpose, take this opportunity to combine these two platforms and use it for the right purpose. So I am associated with the right people, and FIA has always worked towards education, healthcare, or any voluntary service. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities where we'll be able to give back to the society, and opening libraries is going to be my highest thing. So I hope I'll be able to do it.
Well, all good things, the universe will conspire to help you. I know that for sure. Sanjay ji, any wonderful words of wisdom for our community here?
No, the only appeal I would say, rather than words of wisdom, is that whether you join FIA or other organizations or do on your own, just like what I said earlier, engage with the American community also. Basically, we want to have a positive image of our community in US in the eyes of the broader community, as well as the lawmakers, senators, etc. Write to them by email, by letters, phone calls, etc. That really will help bring our country of birth and our karma bhumi together. My goal is to make that happen. The two countries are natural allies, but I would love to see that finally happen in a much stronger way than it has so far, right? So that's what I would love to see happen.
Great. Thank you for being in the New England. Mukta, did you want to add to that in any way?
Yes, I actually just wanted to give a final message that we are all about bridging the gap, right? We come from the oldest democracy to a largest democracy, right? So there is a gap, but we are trying to bridge that. But some negative comments here and there, which brings us down. We put a lot of effort in bringing these events, and I wish people they see through it. They see through what India stands for, what US stands for, and then come together and bridge those gaps for us. So that would be my appeal to people, that see through those negative events or not negative comments. Find out your facts. Yes, the
find out your facts and convey them correctly to your government official.
Yes.
And
if Ranjani ji, if there is just one more thing that I forgot to mention, I'll add. People who hold constitutional positions, right, in India, I mean, it is expected that they don't get involved in nitty-gritty politics.
Yeah.
And also in America, one thing that I have seen most politicians, or almost all politicians, I cannot say all, but almost all politicians, they observe, is that politics stops at water's edge and at country's border.
Yeah.
So it was really disappointing to see, somebody who was elected to the second highest constitutional office. I mean, not elected, but I guess elected
Yeah.
to the second highest constitutional office of India, to come and say negative things
Yeah.
in front of U.S. senators and representatives. So uh, I hope this is not for Indian Americans. The earlier what I said was for Indian Americans, but I hope this is my message to people or leaders or ex-leaders back home, that whatever politics you have to do it within the country. But when um, in presence of outsiders, foreigners, try to be
Honest.
Indian first.
First, honest and be Indian, both of
Yeah,
them. Right. Yeah.
yeah, Indian
Politics.
first and Indian last. Right.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly, exactly. Great message. I love that. I love that. That's a very beautiful point. So thank you both for your time. I really, first of all, would like to applaud you for your passion and, all the good that you're doing. And I'm convinced that, with your work, certainly the ties between Indians and India and America will be strengthened. And I think all your contribution will make for a better American community as well, of which we are proud citizens. So thank you so much. Take care. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Ranjani. Thank you.
Jai Hind and God bless America.
Jai Hind.